Imagine a father who loved his son more than anything. But then both were captured together, thrown into a giant cauldron, slowly placed over fire, until their skin began to peel away from their bodies. This is the story of one of the most horrifying punishments in history. A punishment that didn't just burn the body, it scorched the soul. This is the story of John Hale and his son, who were boiled alive. Let's lift the curtain of time and walk into an era where behind the mask of justice, there raged a storm of cruelty. This horrific event occurred in early 16th century England, when King Henry VIII used the law as a weapon of death to protect his throne. A power struggle between the church and the crown, where priests, common people, and even children were not spared. In this dark time lived a simple man, John Hale, a hard-working man, deeply religious, and devoted to his family. But then he was accused of a crime, with no evidence, no witness, only fear manufactured by the state. John Hale was accused of planning a rebellion against the king. In reality, it was nothing more than political opposition. Whenever someone dared to speak or act against royal will, they were not just called rebels, they were branded as enemies of God. The accusation claimed that John was inciting the public, telling them not to accept the king's authority, using religion to turn people against the state. And the greatest crime. His son was with him. No one considered the boy's age, his innocence, or the truth. John and his son were arrested. A fake trial was held. No lawyer. No opportunity to defend themselves. The judge, the witnesses, the prosecutor, all were puppets of the royal court. The verdict had already been decided. Sentence. Both father and son were to be boiled alive. Yes, alive. Into boiling water. No knife. No anesthesia. No mercy. Thousands gathered in a public square in London. People came to watch the horror unfold. A massive cauldron, large enough to hold a human, was placed over a roaring fire. As the water began to boil, John Hale and his son were brought out in chains. Slowly, they were lowered into the boiling cauldron. The son's screams, the father's cries, echoed into the heavens. Until the very end, John held his son in his arms. He kept repeating, "God is with us. I will not leave you alone." This was not just a murder. It was an attempt to make an example of an entire family. The incident shocked the entire nation. People were horrified. Many priests spoke out against the king. But one by one, they too were silenced. Some historians believe that this punishment was not meant for one man, but to terrify the entire population. Time passed. Henry VIII died. His royal lackeys vanished. But the memory of John Hale and his son was carved into the heart of history. Even today, in the old courts of London, this case is cited as one of the most brutal trials in recorded history. Some historians believe that punishing both father and son together was an intentional effort to destroy even the idea of family. This was not just about killing a man and his child. It was about breaking spirits, erasing love, and ruling through fear. But even centuries later, their voices have not died. Their pain still echoes. The fire may have consumed their bodies, but their story still burns.